Welcome my fellow citizens to a new video. Today we are going to compare two middle cargo ships. The first one is Crusader C1 Spirit and the second one is of course RSI Zeus CL. Now the both ships are amazing, but I want to see which one is in more terms better than the other and who would get the Zeus and who would get the C1. Let's get into it. Right off the bat you can see it has 24,120 HP. Also it has 15,000 HP body and it has 8 parts and 21 thrusters. Also it has one size 3 turret with 2 size 3 weapons. It has 1600 DPS, which is really nice. The capacity for the cargo is 128 SCU. Now the C1, you can see that the C1 has almost double FPS, but it doesn't have turret. It has -52 physical damage, -5 energy and -5 distortion, but also has a +30% EM, CS and ER, so it means it is much more easier to detect this ship than the Zeus. But look at this here, whole HP is much bigger, 67,600 and HP of the body is 16,500. But then when we come to the shield, the C1 has only one size 2 shield while the Zeus has 3 of them, which is absolutely crazy. This ship is powerful, and if you go for the ES variant you will have 4 size 2 shields. The weapons, we have 2 size 4 which we can swap for, let's say, M6As. Then we have a better understanding of DPS because on C1 we also have same weapons. Right off the bat you see it is 1251 DPS and here is 1669, so the difference is now not that big, but still the C1 has more DPS. But what goes much more to favor C1 is this maneuverability. We have 31, 31, 105, 37, 37, 126. Here we have 36, 36, 101, 43, 43, 121. Much more maneuverable and also faster. Zeus has 1000 meters per second and this one has 1130. Also faster SCM mode. Looking at the stats, C1 has a little bit better stats, but there's a catch. When the engineering comes into gameplay, we have a problem with C1 because it has only one shield, only one cooler, only one size 2 power plant, while the Zeus has 2 of them for everything, so which means it has more redundancy. If one shield is destroyed, you have 2 more shields. If one cooler is destroyed, you have 1 more cooler. So your survivor ability is a little bit better in Zeus CL. Also, right now, a whole HP is not that good integrated inside of the Star Citizen, and it feels almost always when your shield drops that you are already dead. So having 3 shields is better than having 1 shield but with a little bit more HP. I'm not entirely sure about this, but write me down in the comments what do you think about this. Also, if you are enjoying this video, please consider subscribing and liking this video. Now let's get back to the main thing for the both of the ships. This is the cargo hauling ship RSI Zeus and also the Crusader C1 Spirit. Which one of them is better for cargo hauling? Now even if the Zeus has a more SUs, it has 128, C1 has only 64 only, I would go still for the Crusader C1 Spirit to do the hauling missions. Why? Well, the middle of the ship has more space, so you can put 3 32 SU boxes inside of the C1 with no problem at all. That means total 96. Of course you cannot clip them to the grid, but that's not important here. Here you have 128, but the problem is very narrow door of the Zeus CL, and it's very hard to load everything inside and offload, of course. If you have just tried it once, you would see how difficult it is even to put the 8 SU box inside of this ship. Even if it has a tractor beam on an arm, it's still a little bit harder to use Zeus than C1. Now that we have seen the stats, let's go inside of the game and see the ship's by themselves. So here is the both of the ships park one against the other. You can see that the C1 lines are just a little bit more appealing than the Zeus. It just feels a little bit more cramped up, the Zeus. But I think also everybody have different taste, and for one the Zeus may be appealing more, and for the other C1. For me, C1 just has that better view. But also the C1 looks more like a commercial airplane, while the Zeus has the more lines of the space ship. Now, the interior. The cockpit of Zeus is just superior. Only downside is this up part, which not allows you to see very good. But other than that, this ship is absolutely beautiful inside. Now, as soon as you start to walk, you can see that the Zeus is really looking like a spaceship. You have this big weapon rack, you have this beautiful hallway, and you have a docking door, which C1 doesn't have. The best of all, this ship not only have this docking door, but also the gravity, which is kind of nuts, and it's amazing for the spacewalk. On the left side you can see the engineering, and down there at another one, entry point or exit. Now this part of the ship looks a little bit cramped up, but it hides a very huge kitchen. Look at this. Compare it to C1, this is absolutely spacious. And also the living quarters are very nice. The only downside are beds, which are not that great. And here is the cargo. The cargo space is very nice. It has a lot of space and you can put a lot of things inside. But what makes this ship bad for the cargo hauling are these doors. Look how narrow are they, and the ramp is just not too much open, so it is very hard to load this cargo. If you have tried, even with one SU, 8 SU box, you will see that it is very hard to load this ship. Now let's go to the C1. The beautiful lines, yeah, they just have a special place in my heart of the C1. And I also love the huge engines. It kind of gives feeling of much more power. Even for some reason, if the engines are nerfed and they're not strong as the Zeus's ones, I still like the C1 engine better. Now let's go inside of the C1. I love the entry point. Look how spacious it is. You can put everything inside with no problem at all. The only downside is also the doors. Why are these parts here existing? Look, they put the fire extinguisher there and the open door. You don't need this here. I think the only reason why this exists is because the CIG didn't want us to have medical RSI inside of this ship. That is the only reason. If this is removed, this ship would be the best ship in the game, period. Look how big this cargo space is. You can load 96 SU boxes here with no problem, and then you can put more on top of it. Now let's switch and see the Zeus. Look at this. It's almost the same space, but look how much more narrow this space entry door are. And these bulkheads also are not allowing you to fully utilize this space. If the door were bigger, this would be much more better than C1. Okay, let's go into a cockpit. I love the design of the Crusader. The round doors are just special to me, but it's much more cramped inside. Look how little space do we have. The Zeus has just better utilization of space. It feels much bigger ship than this one. And look at the kitchen. And of course the worst part is the toilet is just near the kitchen, which you don't want to have. But the bulk beds are much nicer than the Zeus ones. This ship is for 2 pilots and Zeus is for the 3 pilots. So this pilot here has much more space to go and sleep than those in Zeus. Now the cockpit. The cockpit in C1 is also very beautiful. I think this is one of the most beautiful cockpits after the Zeus. The only problem is, even if you can look up everything, down here you don't see a thing. You have to rely on the outside view to see what's going on outside. And then, yeah, it breaks immersion. But still, I love the outside of the ship. Also, I love the part of the veto, because when the veto is activated in C1, it's staying like that, but in Zeus you don't see it. Now the cockpit of Zeus. This cockpit is absolute perfection, in my opinion. Only ships that have this nice cockpit are the Carrack and the Prospector. Look, 180% of undisrupted viewing points, and you can fly off without breaking the immersion. Now, both of the ships are amazing, and which one should you get? Well, you should get, in my opinion, Zeus. Why Zeus? Because Zeus is not available to buy in the game. C1 you can buy in the game. Once the both of the ships are in the game, buy whichever you like more. Or if you're a new player, I think the Zeus will be a little bit more forgiving because of the shields and just it is smaller footprint. Other than that, I think the both ships are amazing, and if you're an experienced player, I would take the C1. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe, like and share with your friends. And until next video, I want to know your opinion. Which ship is better? Thank you for watching and have fun out there, citizens.